Welcome to our deep dive into the top AI news for January 20th, 2025.
We've got a lot to cover today.
We do.
A lot of interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. We've got articles from sources like The Guardian, TechCrunch, Bloomberg, and more.
Yeah. The Guardian has a really thought-provoking piece on how people's understanding of AI actually influences their willingness to adopt it.
Really?
Yeah, it turns out that folks with, lower levels of AI literacy are actually more open to having AI in their lives.
Hmm.
Almost like this kind of magical thinking. They see AI as this amazing, helpful force.
Hell yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, whereas those who kind of understand AI a bit better, they're more attuned to the potential downsides, the ethical issues.
Right. A little knowledge can breed skepticism.
Exactly. And skepticism is kind of needed, especially when you consider some of the potential consequences.
Okay, so lead me there.
Well, the Guardian also published an opinion piece with a pretty alarming title, actually. It's called AI Could Destroy Democracy as We Know It.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Strong words.
Yeah, pretty heavy. And the author, who's a former advisor to the International Labor Organization, argues that AI's impact on the job market could severely weaken labor unions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it could shift power to those who control the algorithm and the capital, the Musks of the world.
So essentially, if human labor is less essential, the traditional systems that kind of keep democracies in check might start to fail.
Right. That's the core concern here. The piece raises some really critical questions about fairness and accountability in a world that's increasingly driven by algorithms. If the source of wealth and power shifts so dramatically, how do we ensure equitable distribution? How do we prevent exploitation?
A big question. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives.
Okay, well, on a lighter note, The Guardian also has a piece about AI that chooses your outfits.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. I thought it was pretty funny.
So a writer tried it out and ended up in like a poofy tulle dress at a kid's birthday party,
Oh, no.
looking more like a giant candy than a chic mom.
I guess AI hasn't quite mastered fashion yet.
Not yet.
It's a good reminder that current AI, it may be great at processing data, but it still struggles with subjective things like fashion and social etiquette.
Yeah, totally. Unless toddlers these days are really into haute couture.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how we're looking to AI to help us with these everyday choices now.
Right. From what to wear to what to eat to, who to date even. It's like AI is becoming this ultimate decision maker.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. AI could be the solution to decision fatigue, but it also raises all these questions about reliance and control.
Yeah, for sure. Like, are we becoming too dependent on these systems to make choices for us?
Yeah. And who even decides what the best choice is anyway? That's a whole other can of worms.
That's true.
Okay, so moving from fashion to the business side of AI. TechCrunch is reporting that Metropolis, which is an AI-powered parking platform, has acquired Usto, a computer vision company.
Interesting. Usto is known for its facial recognition technology.
Oh.
So this acquisition is pretty significant, especially given Usto's past controversies.
Right.
It kind of suggests a merging of AI-powered surveillance with, like, infrastructure management in smart cities.
Yeah, that raises some ethical concerns for sure. Are we heading towards a future where Big Brother meets valet parking?
It's a scenario we need to be mindful of, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And meanwhile, on the funding front, Siriact, which is a German robotics company, just secured $25 million in Series A funding.
Siriact specializes in what they call embodied AI.
Embodied AI. Okay, that's a new one for me.
It basically means creating robots that are more adaptable and intelligent in real-world environments. So instead of just following pre-programmed instructions, these robots can actually learn and respond to their surroundings.
Gotcha. So instead of rigid automation, it's more about robots collaborating with humans in complex tasks.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And Siriac software has garnered attention from some prominent investors, including former Formula One champion Nico Rosberg.
Wow.
So it seems there's growing interest in these AI applications that bridge the gap between the digital and physical realms.
Very cool. So AI is breaking free from the confines of our screens, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, it's stepping into our world in increasingly sophisticated ways.
Okay. And OpenAI is back in the headlines again. They're facing some criticism for a lack of transparency?
Yeah, it's regarding their funding of an AI math benchmark called Frontier Math. Apparently, they backed its development but only disclosed their involvement after their own model, O3, aced it.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, so now people are questioning the objectivity of the benchmark.
Right, it's like grading your own homework, isn't it? If the company's creating the standards by which their AI is judged, how can we be sure it's a fair and accurate assessment?
Exactly. The incident really emphasizes the need for clear ethical guidelines and accountability mechanisms in AI, especially as competition intensifies.
Yeah, transparency is key if we want to foster trust in AI's development.
Definitely.
Okay, so on a different note, TechCrunch reports that Perplexity AI has submitted a bid to merge with TikTok.
Interesting.
Perplexity AI, they seem to believe that they can leverage their expertise to address some of the controversies surrounding TikTok, particularly content moderation and personalization.
Could this be a way to keep TikTok operating in the US amidst all this talk of a ban?
It seems like that's their strategy.
This situation has major implications for the future of social media, and for AI regulation. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Definitely a high-stakes game.
For sure.
Okay, now shifting to military applications of AI.
Mm.
TechCrunch has a piece on how the Pentagon is using AI to speed up its kill chain.
That's a topic that always sparks debate.
Oh, absolutely.
While AI could potentially reduce human error and collateral damage in warfare, it also raises serious ethical concerns about, giving machines greater autonomy in life or death situations.
It's not just a sci-fi scenario anymore. It's a reality we need to deal with now.
Exactly. As these technologies advance, we really need to engage in these ongoing and open discussions about the ethical implications and potential consequences.
Yeah, where do we draw the line when it comes to AI's role in warfare? That's a huge question.
Definitely. One that demands careful consideration.
Absolutely. We can't afford to shy away from those difficult conversations.
For sure.
Okay, let's dive into some technical news now. Google launched a new feature on their Vertex AI platform. It's called the RAG engine. It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation.
It's essentially a tool that connects large language models to external data sources, makes them less prone to those AI hallucinations we were talking about earlier, where they generate incorrect or nonsensical information.
Right, right. So it's like giving these AI models a healthy dose of real-world facts to ground their responses.
Exactly. And this move is part of a larger trend in AI development, which is striving for accuracy and reliability by making sure these systems have access to credible and verified information.
Okay, so before we get too deep into the technical stuff, let's look at some more practical applications.
So good.
Like, for example, AI is being used to prevent stampedes at large gatherings, particularly in India, where crowd management is a huge issue.
It's a really innovative use of AI, actually. They're using a combination of AI-powered cameras and predictive algorithms to analyze crowd density and movement patterns, all in real time. It allows organizers to identify potential danger zones and take preventative measures.
That's amazing. It's incredible how AI can be applied, not just for, like, efficiency or profit, but also for safety and public well-being.
Definitely.
It shows that AI's potential goes far beyond just commercial applications.
Right. It's offering solutions to real-world challenges that have a huge impact on people's lives.
And it's a good reminder that we're only just beginning to explore the potential of AI across all these diverse fields.
For sure. There's so much more to come.
Okay, well, let's talk about responsible exploration. Microsoft is taking an interesting approach to AI security.
Yeah, they've been red teaming their AI products. It basically means trying to break them, identify vulnerabilities.
Like ethical hacking, but for AI.
Exactly. And one of the most surprising findings is that traditional hacking techniques, they're not as effective against large language models. Instead, the most effective approach is to craft really clever prompts to manipulate the AI's output.
So instead of brute force coding, it's more about psychological manipulation.
Yeah, you could say that. It really highlights the unique challenges of securing AI systems and the need for new approaches to security testing and mitigation.
We're dealing with a whole different kind of beast here.
We are, one that requires us to rethink traditional security paradigms.
It's a crucial reminder that AI security is an evolving field, and we need to constantly adapt our methods to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. As AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives, its security is going to be paramount.
All right, let's wrap up this first segment with some quick hits.
Hit me.
NetDepot just launched a new cloud GPU platform featuring NVIDIA's L40S chip. It's aimed at accelerating AI and high-performance computing workloads.
Cool.
Meta is launching a new video editing app called Edits. Seems like a response to the ban on TikTok and its popular editing tool, CapCut.
Interesting.
And a paper published in TechCrunch suggests that AI isn't very good at history.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently top language models perform poorly on a high-level history test.
Maybe not too surprising, though. History is full of nuance and open to interpretation. AI excels at pattern recognition and logic, maybe different skill sets.
Yeah, good point. Maybe we need to develop specialized AI historians, train them on all the complexities of the past.
That's a good idea.
It seems like we've only just scratched the surface of AI's capabilities and limitations.
We've covered a lot of ground today. From the impact of AI on the labor market and democracy to the latest advancements in robotics and AI security, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, for sure. But we're not done yet.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll delve into more speculative and forward-looking aspects of AI development.
We'll be talking about things like the quest for artificial general intelligence, the role of AI in creative fields, and the potential impact of AI on our understanding of consciousness itself. It's going to get really interesting.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
We're going to be moving beyond the headlines now.
Yeah, into more of the speculative
The
stuff.
breakthroughs and what-if questions. The things that keep AI researchers up at night.
Right, exactly. And let's start with a topic that's generating a lot of buzz: AI agents.
Okay. I'm picturing like tiny robots scurrying around doing our chores. Is that what we're talking about?
Not quite. Think more virtual assistants,
Okay.
but with like way more enhanced capabilities.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So AI agents, they're software programs that can interact with the world and make decisions autonomously, often using large language models as their brains.
So they can take actions based on what they've learned, not just respond to commands.
Exactly. And that opens up a ton of possibilities, from automating complex tasks to creating hyper-personalized digital experiences.
Okay, well, we have sources from Google, OpenAI, Anthropic. What are they saying about the current state of AI agent development?
Well, Google published a research paper outlining a new framework for building and training AI agents. They're really emphasizing making them more robust and adaptable, able to deal with changing situations.
And OpenAI, I read that they're working on something called real-time API agents. Any idea what that is?
The specifics are kind of still under wraps, but it seems to be a way for developers to integrate these AI agents directly into their applications, enable real-time interaction and decision-making.
So imagine chatbots that can actually schedule appointments for you, or virtual shopping assistants that negotiate the best prices.
Right, exactly. And Anthropic, they're known for their focus on AI safety. So they're exploring ways to enhance AI agents' ability to use tools effectively and ethically.
Tools? Like what kind of tools?
Think software tools, APIs that give these agents access to information, let them interact with other systems, carry out actions in the digital world.
So an AI agent booking a flight could access airline reservation systems and manage your calendar.
Precisely. And Anthropic wants to ensure these agents are using tools safely and ethically. Minimize the risk of unintended consequences.
Right, that's crucial as these agents gain more and more influence and have the potential to really impact the real world.
For sure. Now, speaking of real-world impacts, let's look at how AI is being used to tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Right. Our sources mention applications in healthcare, sustainability, and education. What are some of the most promising developments there?
Well, in healthcare, AI is being used to develop personalized treatment plans, analyze medical images, even assist with surgery.
We're already seeing that, right? With AI-powered diagnostic tools and algorithms that can predict patient outcomes. It's pretty remarkable.
And in sustainability, AI is being used to optimize energy consumption, track deforestation, even predict natural disasters.
There's a great example in India. AI is being used to monitor weather patterns and warn farmers about potential droughts or floods, helps them adapt their crops and protect their livelihoods.
It's amazing. And in education, AI is being used to personalize learning experiences, provide instant feedback, and even identify students who might be struggling or at risk of dropping out.
Yeah, we're seeing the rise of adaptive learning platforms and intelligent tutoring systems, really tailoring lessons to individual student needs.
It's an exciting time to be witnessing how AI is being used to solve real-world problems and improve lives across all these different sectors.
Okay, well, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the quest for artificial general intelligence, or AGI, that ultimate goal of AI research.
Yeah, AGI, the idea of creating AI systems that match or even surpass human intelligence. It's both fascinating and a little bit daunting.
It is. Our sources mention OpenAI, DeepSeek, Google. Are they making any progress towards AGI?
It's still super early.
Yeah.
And there isn't even a universal definition of what AGI actually is. But these companies, they're definitely pushing the boundaries.
OpenAI is reportedly working on PhD-level super agents. That sounds pretty sci-fi.
Yeah, the details are limited, but it seems like they're trying to create agents that not only execute complex tasks, but also reason abstractly and acquire new concepts quickly, much like a highly educated human.
And DeepSeek, I'm not as familiar with them.
Yeah, DeepSeek's a little more under the radar. They just unveiled their DeepSeek R1 models, claim they rival OpenAI's performance.
Wow.
What's interesting is their approach. They focus really heavily on reinforcement learning, where the AI systems learn through trial and error.
So essentially letting them explore a simulated world and learn from their experiences.
Yeah, in a simplified sense, yes, it's super computationally demanding, but it has huge potential, especially for things like problem solving and decision making.
Okay. And what about Google? They're always a major player in AI.
Oh, absolutely. They continue to make strides in natural language processing and computer vision. Their work on large language models is definitely creating a foundation for more sophisticated AI systems down the line.
Okay, well, let's talk about AI's role in creative fields. It's exciting, but it's also a bit controversial, right?
Definitely. AI is being used to create stunning artwork, compose original music, even write scripts for movies and TV shows.
But there are concerns about AI potentially replacing human creativity. Flooding the market with AI-generated content, maybe leading to a devaluation of artistic expression.
It's a complex issue. There are valid arguments on both sides. AI will probably augment human creativity, provide new tools and possibilities for artists and creators.
So it's about finding that balance between human ingenuity and AI's capacity for processing information and generating novel outputs.
Right, finding that sweet spot. And with that, let's consider how AI is impacting our understanding of consciousness itself.
Okay, now we're getting into deep philosophical territory.
This is where AI research really intersects with those fundamental questions about what it means to be human.
Yeah, our sources mention research on AI models that can simulate human reasoning, make moral judgments, even exhibit signs of self-awareness. Are we on the cusp of creating machines that can truly think and feel?
That's a question that's challenged philosophers and scientists for centuries. AI research just adds another layer of complexity to the debate.
Right. Some experts believe that as AI systems become more sophisticated, they might inevitably develop some form of consciousness, even if it's different from our own.
Others argue that consciousness is unique to biological systems, impossible to replicate in machines, no matter how complex.
It's fascinating and a little bit unsettling, honestly, a debate that will probably continue for a long time.
It definitely will. It underscores that AI research isn't just about developing cool new technologies, it's also about deepening our understanding of ourselves.
Well said. Okay, well, we've reached the end of part 2 of our deep dive into the AI world. We've explored a pretty wide range of topics, from the practicalities of AI agent development to the philosophical implications of AGI and the nature of consciousness. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our look at today's top AI news.
And in this last part, things get pretty interesting.
They do. We're going to be tackling those big questions about the ethics of AI, societal impacts, and responsible development.
Yeah. Our sources show that, everyone's thinking about these issues now.
It's not just a tech conversation anymore.
Not at all. It's about how we shape the future we want to live in.
Right, and a perfect example of this is the UK government's new AI Opportunities Action Plan.
On the surface, it sounds pretty great.
Ambitious.
Yeah, it aims to position Britain as a global AI superpower.
But our sources are pointing out some potential issues with the plan. Like, what are the downsides?
Well, Tech Monitor argues that, while ambitious, it could actually end up hurting UK startups.
How so?
The plan doesn't really seem to address the regulatory hurdles and high taxes they face.
Which could stifle their growth, prevent them from competing globally.
Exactly. It's a classic case of good intentions maybe not aligning with the reality of, doing business.
Yeah. How do we foster innovation without, punishing the very companies we're trying to support? It's a tough balance.
It is. And speaking of balancing acts, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, released a report warning that AI partnerships could actually be undermining competition.
So they're focusing on collaborations between those big cloud service providers and generative AI developers.
Yeah.
So the big tech giants teaming up with the hot new AI startups. What's the concern there?
Well, the FTC worries that these partnerships could lead to, concentrated power in the AI market.
Essentially squeezing out smaller players, limiting consumer choice. The classic monopoly problem.
Exactly. But in like a new AI-driven context.
Right, we have to be vigilant.
Yeah.
We don't want AI's potential to be restricted to just a select few.
Totally agree. And it just underscores the need for, really careful antitrust scrutiny and proactive regulation.
To make sure the benefits of AI are widely shared.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at an area where the ethics of AI are particularly crucial. The military's use of AI.
Right. And specifically, its use in accelerating what they call the kill chain.
This is a topic that really demands some deep, nuanced conversation. It touches on some really fundamental questions, about human control, accountability, and the potential for things to go very wrong.
Absolutely.
Our sources highlight the really tough decisions AI developers are facing when working with the military.
Yeah. It's a complex situation for sure.
What are the key things they're thinking about?
Well, on the one hand, there's this desire to make defense systems more efficient, more effective, maybe reduce civilian casualties, improve strategic decision-making.
But on the other hand, there's this huge ethical responsibility to make sure that AI is never used to make, fully autonomous kill decisions or to escalate conflicts in ways that could be catastrophic.
It's not just about building a smarter weapon, it's about ensuring that it's used responsibly.
Right, how do we even build those safeguards into these systems?
It's a multifaceted challenge. It involves the technology itself, but also the human values, the ethical frameworks that we embed in these systems.
We need dialogue
Right.
between the technologists, policymakers, ethicists, and the public to navigate these really tricky waters.
We do. We can't just let this happen without having these conversations.
Absolutely. Okay, well, switching gears to something a bit less intense.
Okay.
Let's talk about those AI hallucinations. That term's been popping up everywhere lately.
It has, and it basically refers to when these AI systems generate outputs that are, just plain wrong or nonsensical or just totally bizarre.
Right, like when a chatbot tells you the Earth is flat or that Abraham Lincoln was the first president of Mars.
Exactly. Those are funny examples, but they point to a serious issue. AI systems, as impressive as they are, they're still prone to errors.
Especially when they encounter information or situations that are outside their training data.
Right.
So how do we address this? It seems like a major hurdle to trusting AI, especially when it comes to those critical applications.
Well, there are several different approaches. Some researchers are focused on improving the quality and diversity of the training data.
Makes sense.
Others are trying to develop real-time techniques for detecting and correcting these hallucinations.
And Google's new ARG engine? That seems like a step in the right direction.
It does. By grounding these large language models in external knowledge sources like factual databases or scientific papers, we can make them a lot more reliable.
So we need to give AI the tools, the knowledge, to be able to, tell fact from fiction.
Exactly. And this actually brings us back to our earlier conversation about AI and democracy.
Right. We talked about how AI could erode the power of labor unions, concentrate wealth in the hands of a few.
Yeah.
Sort of a dystopian vision, right? Algorithms ruling everything. But is there a flip side? Could AI also be used to empower citizens and strengthen democracy?
That's the million-dollar question. Imagine AI tools that can help people understand complex policy issues, or make informed decisions when they vote, or even hold their elected officials accountable.
So instead of replacing human judgment, AI could actually enhance it.
Exactly. Give us the information and insights we need to be better participants in the democratic process.
The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the risks, but also embrace the potential for good.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up our AI News Roundup for today. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.